how much money does a roofing sales rep actually make? More importantly, how many roofs do you actually have to sell to make $100,000 personally? We're going to use this as a baseline because I think a lot of people enter roofing sales thinking I'm going to make unlimited money, unlimited earning potential. And then reality shows up. You got taxes, you got gas, chargebacks, no shows, you're driving all over the place, homeowners are ghosting you, insurance supplements, slow down in the winter, you got callbacks, you're losing stuff, you have roof leaks, there's all kinds of things. So suddenly, the money doesn't feel as easy as Instagram made it look. So today I'm going to break down the two most common compensation structures in roofing. The 10-50-50 split model and the 10% revenue model. And I want to compare them side by side using real numbers, not emotional opinions, not my company's better than your company, just math. And everyone's going to be all over the place, but just use this math as a baseline for you. So here's the assumptions. Average roof size, 13 grand. I know it can be higher or lower. 13,000 is a good realistic middle number. So let's assume the roofing company operates at a 36% gross profit margin. And that's where you should be. I know people are lower, but let's get to it. The company creates $4,680 in profit from a $13,000 roof. Immediately, someone's like, that 36% gross profit is too high. Some people are like, that's too low. It is crazy that people are all over the place. Sell value, that's a whole nother podcast. But that's not the point. The point is understanding the economics of roofing sales. Most sales reps have absolutely no idea where the money actually goes. They just know, I sold a roof. But they do not understand what the company keeps, the actual overhead costs, what taxes cost, commission, insurance, payroll, all the marketing. Let's start with the first model. The first model is the 10-50-50. Okay, we hear that all the time. It's absolutely the most common in roofing. We're not going to break all that down. We know that people can argue over office staff, marketing, CRM software, admin, all those things. We know people can argue back and forth about that. Should it be 5-50-50, 15% 50-50? We're not going to do it, but we're going to say for this example, it's $4,680 of gross profit. 10% goes to overhead and the remaining is $4,212. Okay, here we go. So the gross commission is $2,106. Great. Made $2,100 and selling one roof. This is pretty great for most people initially. The people that are in their first year. You're 1099 now. Okay, you're paying your own taxes, your own health insurance, your own gas, truck, all your own risk. You may even be self-genning that. You're generating the lead yourself. Use your network, make leads come in so you can do inspections. There's a whole other thing on self-marketing and self-gen, but we're just doing the math side of it right now. After all the taxes are paid and before you even pay your expenses, you're about $1,474. That's really where you're at from net income after getting a 2106 commission check. There's ways to prevent tax liability, but let's work on the real numbers for right now. Let's ask the real question. How many roofs do you actually have to sell to make $100,000 personally? 100,000 divided by 1474. That's about 68 roofs. Okay, 68 roofs a year. Doesn't sound terrible at first, but let's slow down. Are you doing 68 appointments? What's your close rate like? Are you dealing with storms? Are you doing retail? What does that look like for you? There's all kinds of things. If you're not disciplined, 68 roofs can be very daunting because you have to close those roofs, build those roofs, and get paid for those roofs. This is not the number of appointments you need, the number of inspections. This is actually closed deals. So generally, you're going to need about 3 times that number if you're good. Roughly 200 to 215 inspections. That's a lot of inspections to do just to sell 68 roofs. You need to understand these numbers, though. A lot of people just don't see this. I don't know how many times I've heard this, but about 200 to 215 inspections to sell 68 roofs. Understand it. Just need to know that. That's for the 10-50-50 split. Again, we're doing the baseline for everything. Now let's move on to the 10% revenue model. This model is becoming more common because it's easy to calculate. You're not worried about profit margin as much. Your CRM may be inaccurate. There may be some funny numbers. $13,000 roof, $1,300 commission, right? Easy. This sales rep, though, gets a $36,000 base salary. So there's a little bit of stability, a little less commission breath, but you're still paying taxes. So you're making about $910 of income per roof. It's a lot less than $1,400, right? Or $1,474. So big difference, but you have that base salary to kind of keep you going through, especially the cold months. We got the base salary. It's just going to change the emotion side of sales. You're going to be able to really be a consultative sales representative for a company because you don't have as much personal financial stress. You're going to have a little bit of money during winter when you're not building any roofs at all or very little. You're just going to be able to stay with the company longer because you have that consistent income. So let's compare. How many roofs you got to sell? All right, so that's $64,000 of income is plus $36,000 of base salary. That's about 71 roofs a year. So we got 71 roofs a year for the 10% and salary guy, and we've got 68 roofs for the 10-50-50 splits. So it's about a 3 roof difference. And again, we're saying the roofs are all $13,000 exactly. Obviously, if you sell a huge roof, that number will change. How about if you are on the 10-50-50 split and one of your jobs doesn't make profit because somebody damaged something? Guess who's not getting paid commission for that? There's a little bit of a difference in stability with that 10% revenue model because the sales rep is responsible for the sale of the job. The 10-50-50 gives a little more pressure to make profit on that job. Now, which one is better for the company? It's basically the same number of roofs, 2 different types of sales reps. What is the difference? So the 10-50-50 model, the company's making about $2,100 per roof times the 68 roofs. That's $143,000 in company gross profit. There could be other bad stuff though. There's $143,000 of gross profit for those 68 roofs, but there's all kinds of stuff. Callbacks, bad crews, there could be broken stuff. That's just $143,000 for one sales rep. The 10% revenue model with the salary. Now salary has, payroll tax, all kinds of things. You think, okay, what's going to be different? So the company is going to create $332,000 in gross profit because the profit share is much different with those roofs. So in reality, you're creating a lot more profit for the business with the 10% revenue plus $36,000 salary model. It's amazing because even with the salary, payroll tax, and everything else, the company still is keeping $201,000 of profit. So it's $58,000 more profit than the 10-50-50 model. So just think about this. As a sales rep, do you want a little bit more stability? Do you want to sell about the same number of roofs? Your company's going to be profitable. That's a good thing. You want the company to be profitable because they can invest more in marketing. They can help you sell more jobs because they can get you more leads. It's a big deal when you have 5 sales reps. That's $300,000 more profit and you're making money. You're less stressed. It's a really interesting trade-off. Just think about this as a sales rep and think about this as a company owner about the differences between the compensation models. Now you're maybe already on this track where everybody's doing this compensation model. Maybe this could be a way to show the differences. You need to be transparent. That's one thing that I wanted to be in my company is I wanted to be super transparent to make sure that the sales reps knew why we needed to be profitable. This is 36% gross profit. We wanted to be higher than that because we wanted to invest in a lot of tools like wrap trucks, nice polo shirts, all kinds of marketing material. We wanted to get them leads fast. Just to break down, because we get this question all the time, what's the best compensation model? These are 2 of them. They're very different. About the same number of roofs have to be sold. A lot less profit for the company on one. A lot more stress on the sales rep for the other. Just think about it. Which one's better for you? Why would you want to do a certain type? You may be just a killer. You want to go make as much money as possible. You don't really care. You have an amazing accountant who can help you with the taxes. At the end of the day, me personally, I like to have my sales reps not as stressed, stability, better family life, better weeks, better days, still make a good living for their family, and the company makes significant profit so that, not so that I can go buy a boat, but so that I can grow the company in a better position moving forward. My 2 cents on what I think is better in compensation. Everybody's got a different opinion about everything. But at the end of the day, these are two big compensation structures that everybody talks about. What do you want for your company? What do you want as a sales rep? One more time. 10, 50, 50 is go get them killer. You don't have to worry about anything else. You can make tons of money. You're going to pay a lot of taxes, but you're going to have no stability as far as like a base salary. You can make a lot more money though if you work really, really hard because you're just going to get more profit per job. Yeah, more than almost $600 more job per job that you'll make in net income if you do 10, 50, 50 on this $13,000 roof. It's a huge deal for a lot of people. You want more stability and you want to grow with the company and you want the company to grow with you. The 10% revenue plus $36,000 base pay is the way for you. Anyway, there's no wrong way or right way, but this is actually breaking down those two compensation models in a way that most people, hopefully I was able to help you understand what it is. Maybe you have to rewatch it like I do, but I wanted you to have an idea of those two numbers, basically the same number of roofs, two very different types of living. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.